You're watching the Halos in the Infield Network. Proudly sponsored by 714 Tickets, where the price you see is the price you pay. No hidden fees, no surprises, just tickets. But wait, it gets even better. Use the code HITI at checkout and boom, 10% off. Located at 2424 East Catella Avenue in Anaheim, or online at 714tickets.com. And now, a toast to our friends at Noble Ale Works, serving ice-cold greatness at 1621 South Sinclair Street, Suite B in Anaheim. Mention HITI when you order and get exclusive drink discounts. Heading to the game? Park free at Noble. Grab a drink, then take a short walk to the stadium. Halos in the Infield Network, bringing you the deals you deserve.
Step up to the plate, hear that crowd roar. The Angels minor league reports keeping score. 66 are swinging down in Inland Empire. Dust Devils heating up the region higher. Rocket City Trash Pandas, they're coming through. Salt Lake Bees buzzing, making their move. Dominick Lorenz breaking down the play. Halos in the infield each and every day. Prospects climbing, chasing that dream. From the minors to the majors, part of the team. Fastballs flying, big hits we see. Catch it all on the Angels minor league report each week. Oh, each week.
Well, there you have it. Hello, everybody, and welcome on in to the Halos in the Infield Minor League Report with yours truly, Dominick Lorenz, a.k.a. Catella Chronicles. Man, it's so good to be here with you guys. It's a new format for a new season. 2025 is upon us, and I'm so glad you're here watching the show with us today. Before we dive into the show, we're going to break down a little bit of things of how we essentially do things here on the Halos in the Infield Minor League Report, presented to you by Catella Chronicles. This is how it works. Every Tuesday, I, Dominick Lorenz, I'm going to be right here with you to talk all things Angels Minor League. Yes, we may be ranked last in baseball amongst the minor league system, but that doesn't mean there are some diamonds in the rough from A to AAA that are ascending towards Major League Baseball. You never know how it works sometimes. Maybe we'll get back to that throwback era of the Angels where, perpetually good every so often and we get out of the dumps. But that's going to be the format. We're going to come on here every Tuesday, talk Angels Minor League Report for about 30 to 40 minutes. Every once in a while, we'll sprinkle in some guests if we can get them and, educate you guys on what is next for this Angels franchise besides what's going on at the Big A. We'll cover all things from Single A, the Inland Empire 66ers, High A, Tri-City Dust Devils, Double A, Rocket City Trash Pandas, and Triple A, Salt Lake Bees. We'll cover all of them. We'll find top players of the week, maybe some poor performances, guys that are trending in the right direction, the transactions that happen throughout minor league baseball throughout the regular season. And of course, we'll kind of do the breakdown of what is to come for each team. For those that may or may not be familiar, the way minor league works, you play Tuesday through Sunday. Monday is a guaranteed off day at all levels. Maybe sometimes AAA has a carryover series that pokes on over, but that's why it'll give me a chance for Monday to get all the stats and everything for the show ready to roll, record it out, and we'll bring it to you guys live, or not live, but semi-live. I'm doing it live, but you're watching it on a Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, whatever floats your boat. But you guys will be able to get the nice, hot, off-the-presses information as the Angels minor league system begins their new series on that Tuesday. So all good things here on the Halos in the Infield Network. Again, as you saw in the intro video, cheers to all of our partners here at Halos in the Infield. And I'm going to give a quick little shout out to all the boys at Halos in the Infield for welcoming me in. I guess this is year number 3, maybe 4 of this wonderful partnership that Halos in the Infield and Catella Chronicles is having and will continue to have. They've Halos in the Infield has welcomed me in with open arms and able to kind of balance both pages and incorporate a lot into the Angels section of things on both platforms, especially with HITI. So a lot of good things coming this year here in 2025. Brand new shows, brand new partnerships, but it's still the same. Halos in the Infield, all for the fans, and that's what we are about. And before we kick off here, this first show of the Angels Minor League Report, want to give out a huge shout out to what we nickname and call the producer to the stars, Randy Yaz, for putting everything together, all these new graphics, videos, everything that we do to record these podcasts and to make them look all sexy and pretty. That's all Randy, my friend. He has done all the graphics extraordinaire. So tip of the cap to him for just a job well done. I could not conceptualize this the way he can for this minor league report and just everything, how it looks. So just look around the details with the Catella Chronicles duck head logo, the minor league report title with the Inland Empire 66er colors, the background of all the stadiums utilized in the Angels minor league system. It is just chef's kiss to a top 10. Just beautiful work that Randy has done. So cheers to them and everything that Randy and the Halos in the Infield squad has done to prepare opening day 2025. Yes, we are in the midst of spring training. Plenty to talk about. So guess what? Let's dive on into the Angels minor league report. Now, a lot of teams are not figured out yet. We do not have the rosters of who's going to be where to begin the regular season minor league. A lot of the teams will probably get placed at the end of March, early April, and that first Friday in April, I believe that is the 4th, and maybe in some cases, the 3rd. AAA starts a little bit earlier, but that last week of March, first week of April, we're really going to see the picture become much clearer on where everybody shakes out from spring training, from anywhere from low A Inland Empire to AAA Salt Lake. So all we can do right now with our time is how are these quote unquote minor leaguers doing either at big league camp or just news that we're hearing on the backfields at Tempe Diablo Stadium. The Angels so far, not the worst spring training that the Angels have kicked off with so far in recent history. Angels right now, a 5-5 mark coming into the night, or at least as I record right now, falling to the Colorado Rockies by the score of 8-4 here on Monday, March the 3rd. So when you look at the Angels right now, the starters are not playing. Mike Trout has a couple games sprinkled in. You have Jorge Soler chipping in as well. Some of the starting pitchers are getting a couple of innings here and there. But it's the minor league system that's really eating up the majority of these innings right now because it takes about the middle of week 2, maybe even the beginning of week 3 to really see the starters that are going to be at the big league level playing 5 to 6 innings, if not more, per game. So let's go to the Angels' top 30 prospects. Now, the full list for this year has not come out, but I'm going to use the end of 2024's list to kind of start our discussion point right now. And a guy that we saw just a little bit at the tail end of the season last year, the Angels' number 1 prospect, not just pitching prospect, but overall prospect in the Angels minor league system, Caden Dana. We saw him a little bit last year, just 21 years old, and big, tall, strong right-hander who, for lack of a better terms, has that Noah Syndergaard look and feel to his game in some way, shape, or form. He just had 3 starts with the Angels, a 1-2 record. The ERA, yes, it was a little bloated at 9.58. In just 10 1/3 innings, he had 8 strikeouts, 7 walks, and a whip at 2.03. Now, that is very, very small scale. You can't judge a book by its cover in that sense. Late in the year, the Angels were on a very bad downward spiral and needed pitching to just eat innings and basically limp, scrape, whatever adjective you want to put in there to get to the end of the season and get quickly to the offseason. But for the bigger picture, Dana was 9-7 with a 2.52 ERA in 23 starts. Mr. Automatic. What is the best ability availability, and Caden Dana was that for AA Rocket City last year. Rocket City's only been in minor league baseball with this Angels organization for a couple of years now, but a terrific bright spot at the AA level, which prides itself on pitching. And that's something I wanted to get into first as we talk about Caden Dana. When you go through the Angels minor league system, you have hitter-friendly ballparks and pitcher-friendly ballparks. And most of the time, I'd say 8 out of 10, you're going to get a hitter-friendly ballpark. Inland Empire 66ers here in San Bernardino, California. And the Cal League in general, hitter-friendly. Then you go up to Tri-Cities in the North and in the Northwest League. It's going to be relatively more hitter-friendly in certain ballparks, pitcher-friendly in others, so about a 50-50 split. You go to AA, that park for Rocket City, very, very pitcher-friendly. And then AAA, you have a lot of on-the-cusp major league guys. Typically, the Pacific Coast League, the PCL, is more on the hitter side of things. So for lack of a better terms, most of the Angels farm system is in hitter-friendly ballparks. But Caden Dana in a pitcher's park, 135 and 2/3 innings, 23 starts, a 2.52 ERA, 147 strikeouts. 147 strikeouts in 135.2 innings. Great splits right then and there. Opponents only hitting 1.84. Flawless numbers or near flawless numbers for Caden Dana, who was so dominant at the minor league level in 2024. So with those numbers and the way he ended the year and how he has started spring training, 50-50 at the moment, a little shaky, had a good outing, a bad outing. I would say, yes, there is strong optimism. Can he make the starting rotation? The way the Angels are going right now, their rotation looks like this, and not in specific order. You have the freshly signed Kikuchi, then you have Hendricks, then you have Detmer sticking around for a little while, Soriano, and Tyler Anderson, 3 returners and 2 newbies. So right now it looks like, based on manager Ron Washington, there's not going to be much movement in the starting rotation as of right now. And with what I just mentioned about Salt Lake not being a pitcher-friendly ballpark, even though the Bees are getting a brand new ballpark this year, it's still going to be hitter-friendly. The question is, do the Angels bite the bullet, start Caden Dana at AAA, or do they keep him at AA to be in a more pitcher-friendly ballpark? If it's me, he proved well enough what he could do at AA. And you can see how strong he is at a pitcher-friendly ballpark. But guess what? All major league ballparks are not pitcher-friendly. You're going to have big ballparks that are hitter-friendly, smaller ballparks that are going to be pitcher-friendly, and vice versa. To me, if you really want to see where Caden is at this point of his development at the age of 21, stick him at AAA, let him be the opening day starter at that level, and see what he can do, and see if he can turn it up a notch and balance the numbers between a pitcher-friendly ballpark and a hitter-friendly ballpark. I think in the very near future, he will be a figment in this Angel starting rotation. He's not your number one prospect for no reason. I think what's going to hinder that, it's either going to be injuries at the major league level. We could talk all day about the Angels and injuries. Or I think the bigger wild card factor is, how's Reed Detmers going to play in 2025? Because I think if he starts regressing and gets sent back down to AAA, could Caden Dana come up and pluck that spot from Reed Detmers? That would be the logical choice, since we've seen Dana already come up 3 starts last year at the end of 2024. But it's a question that we're going to discuss throughout the season. And again, we're only about a week and a half, 2 weeks into legitimate spring training games. In the coming weeks, while we do this Angels minor league report, we're going to really start getting into the spring training numbers and what that could reflect moving forward. So I'm still very high on Caden Dana. I think there's so much potential that the Angels have not unlocked yet. And hopefully the Angels, in a certain point, will not get in their own way and let him flourish and give him a chance and not handicap him and kind of create this aura and perfect bubble of stay at the AA, be pitcher friendly, dominate the guys you should be dominating, but not give them a chance with some of the top dogs at the AAA level that in the next coming years, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, are going to be the major league talent that he is going to have to face on a game-to-game basis when he's on the bump for the Halos, if it's at the Big A or on the road. So food for thought in that case. But to me, I'm still very high on Dana, and I think you guys should be too. It's a great arm that the Angels have in their system right now. Even though we're ranked 30th out of all of Major League Baseball, dead last, there are still some players, and we're going to get to more here in our time here with the first episode of the Angels Minor League Report. Those hidden gems, the diamonds in the rough that you could see moving forward with the Angels. Now, as we get to the second prospect that has probably had the most conversation around them, it's Christian Moore, freshly drafted last year from the University of Tennessee. There is so much, I think, riding on Moore, not only because of the high draft pick that the Angels took him this past draft in 2024, but then you have the injuries that are always plaguing the Angels infield. And of course, Anthony Rendon, presumably out for all of 2025. It's not confirmed yet, but we know he's going to be out a long period of time with the hip surgery. Third base is a question mark right now. Zach Neto's going to miss a couple of weeks, a week, maybe two, a little bit shorter than expected, thankfully, at the shortstop position. Luis Rengifo's coming back from injury. And right now, Nolan Shonowell at first base is the only Angels mainstay in this infield. And Christian Moore, great bat speed, great defense. There's a lot to like about this kid, and the Angels have pretty much already set it on tape. It's second or third base for the kid. That is it. We've all viewed him as second base because that's what he played in college. But Ron Washington right now is adamant that third base is very much so a possibility. It's all about the IQ. It really is. And watching a couple Angels spring training games over the weekend, you had Ron Washington talking about that, and especially during MLB Network's 30 teams in 15 days. That's what the question was. All this hype about Christian Moore, and that's what all Angel fans and the media are talking about. And Ron Washington's saying, yeah, it's true. He can play. There is no questions about him playing. It's making the smart and correct decisions on the field. He's young. As I look at his numbers right now, in 2024, very, very minimal minor league time. Very minimal. 545 average with the Inland Empire 66ers. I believe he was there less than a week. And then Rocket City Trash Pandas, he throttled the AA level with a 322 average at that time. So the dude can hit. And the defense has been pretty spot on too. But with as youthful as he is, I agree wholeheartedly with Ron Washington. You need to have the mind right and the high IQ. That is what the Angels have struggled with for a very long time now. And you can even say the Angels have struggled with that. Maybe it's a black cloud hanging over them since the Brandon Wood, Dallas McPherson experiments. Both guys, highly touted prospects, and then drop the ball at the major league level. And maybe that's kind of the stain that the Angels are still trying to get out of the uniform over the last decade plus. And maybe Christian Moore is that guy. And I really do think he can be that guy as well if pieced together right. If he plays at second, that's going to be a great tandem, Christian Moore and Zach Neto. Maybe Angels get to find themselves in a situation where Christian Moore breaks camp. He's your third baseman. Neto, when healthy, back to short. Rengifo, when healthy, second base. And you have some role player guys like Newman and Kinneridge that can kind of sprinkle in some time there as well. So there's a lot of questions with this Angels infield. And really, Christian Moore is the lone guy at the prospect level that I would say has that deep chance to break roster. Does he? We're only a week and a half into spring training. I think there's a lot to be answered still, a lot of baseball to be played. I don't think any decisions from Ron Washington or this coaching staff has been answered thus far. because you can bat very well, do all the right things the first week and a half, and go on a little bit of a tailspin the following week and find yourself back on the backfields at Tempe Diablo, awaiting to hear, okay, am I going to Salt Lake? Am I going to Rocket City, Alabama? Am I going to Inland Empire, San Bernardino in California? Or am I going up to Washington at the high A level? Those questions start turning in a player's head, and that kind of factors into the situation. What I hope that the Angels don't do, and I don't think they will with Christian Moore because he's a very much highly touted prospect, is treat him with kid gloves like they did in years past with Michael Stefanik. Michael Stefanik has been a friend of Catella Chronicles. I interviewed him a couple years back after he made his major league debut, and great guy to talk to. So much work ethic and effort put in everything. He signed with the Toronto Blue Jays this offseason, so best of luck and blessings to Michael Stefanik. He just got married, by the way, so congratulations to him. I just hope the Angels don't treat Christian Moore like they have with Michael Stefanik early on in Christian Moore's career. Come up for a week and a half, send you back down. Come up due to an injury, get sent back down. The back and forth game, I get it. It's for money purposes, and there's all the back channeling, players union stuff with service time you got to deal with. But I just bite the bullet and let the kid play. I think that the more playing time he gets with Ron Washington, oh my goodness, that's going to mean more than anything else. I really do believe that. Moore and Washington, give me more Washington. You get that? Give me more Washington. And I think the Angels are going to love that. So again, Christian Moore ending 2024 as the number 2 prospect. Dana and Moore, they're carrying the load right now for this 30th ranked Angels farm system at this point. Another guy. I saw him because, for those that may not know, besides being Catella Chronicles and partnered with Halos in the Infield, my day job, I'm a broadcaster. I'm a sports broadcaster. I do baseball, I do football, I do soccer, I've done hockey. There's a lot of broadcasting I've done locally here in Southern California at the high school, collegiate, and pro level. A lot of the time I've worked in minor league baseball. I worked in the San Diego Padres farm system in Lake Elsinore here in Southern California for 3 years, 2017 to 2019. Saw a lot of terrific prospects there. If you're familiar with the Padres system, most of them aren't Padres anymore due to trades, but top prospects like Mackenzie Gore, who's now with the Washington Nationals, Gabriel Arias, who's with the Cleveland Guardians. Blanking on some names at the moment. It happens when you're with so many minor league players. I've seen hundreds come in and out of the door. The Padres catcher, Luis Camposano, another big one right now. So there's players throughout the years. Joey Lucchesi, who's on the New York Mets right now. You see a lot of stories, and you see a lot of talent. And through those channels, I've seen a very special talent here in the California League when calling minor league baseball games, if it's fill-in or during my time in the Cal League. And recently, the guy I have fallen in love with as a guy who played baseball growing up, who was the shorter, speedier type of guy. I wasn't the power hitter. I wasn't the doubles. I was the slap bunt, single guy, steal second and third, and get around the base path that way. That's why I loved Sean Figgins and David Eckstein growing up. Nelson Rada. Remember that name, Angel fans. Nelson Rada. This guy, I'm predicting right now, 2022's in the Dominican Summer League. Batted .311. In 2023 with Inland Empire, batted .276. And we'll dive into the stats a little bit more. 2024, dropped off a little bit on the batting average side to down to .234. Again, pitcher's ballpark. And a pitcher's league at AA. The factors and the intangible factors that Nelson Rada has. This guy, if not this year, I'm going to say opening day 2027. Give it a little extra year. We may be talking about Nelson Rada is your opening day center fielder and leadoff hitter. Absorb that. 2027, Nelson Rada, opening day center fielder and leadoff hitter. I'm putting that out there. That is a big, huge ask for right now, finishing off the 2024 season as the number 4 prospect for the Angels. You know, last year, he averages between 12 and 13 doubles a year, single-digit home runs, upper 20s to upper 40s in RBIs. He walks a lot. 26 walks his first year in minor league ball. 73 and 57 for a career total of 156. He has 117 stolen bases. Led the 66ers in 2023. 55 swipe bases. Speed is going to be huge. We saw it early on in Mike Trout's career when he was batting at the top of the lineup, stealing bases, and setting up Torrey Hunter, Albert Pujols for RBI opportunities. Now we're at a different phase in Angels baseball where Trout moves to right field, drops a little bit in the order, probably batting 3rd, 4th, or 5th. This is a guy, Nelson Rada, that's basically that next Mike Trout, not in the whole complexion that Mike Trout is this GOAT, first ballot Hall of Famer, but that get on base, steal a base, and get driven in by the supporting cast. I think that's going to be huge because the on-base percentage, 446, 395, 331. Those are great numbers for a guy that has plenty of speed. If you really look down, his hitting is rated 50, power 40, 60 run. His arm strength out in the outfield is 55 based on the metrics, which is phenomenal. Then you get the intangibles out in the outfield, covering all that ground, left center, right center, backpedaling. He made a tremendous amount of good defensive routine plays as well. It's not just the flashy plays that you want Nelson Rada to make. It's the routine plays that ends up being defensive run saved. Just do the right things and you're going to be fine. And I think that's what's going to be huge for Nelson Rada. Why I say 2027 and even maybe 2028, it depends on the development. He just turned 19. Just turned 19. So there isn't really much that the Angels can do at this point. You're not going to start him at 19 and kind of throw him into the frying pan right off the bat. Birthday August 24th, so he'll be 20 years old near the end of the season. 5'8", 160 pounds, throws left, bats left. Something that the Angels could use more in their lineup, more left-handed hitting than right-handed hitting. Unlike the pitching staff, which is more heavy left-handed than right-handed. Venezuelan prospect, only $1.8 million that are being posted to him. It is a low-risk, high-reward situation. So I'm going to say 2027 to 2028, Nelson Rada is going to be a guy to look at this season to see how he bounces back after 2 terrific years in 22 and 23 and a little bit of a down year by most metrics for him last year at Double-A. My guess, he goes back to Double-A, right the wrongs a little bit, see if you can get a promotion to Triple-A at the maybe 2 months, 3 months, maybe after the All-Star break situation of the year, and kind of see where you develop Nelson Rada from there. I think there's a lot of poise and a lot of talent for 19 years old. This is a kid that's going to be a future outfielder, if not a center fielder, for the Angels in the future. I'm going to say, like I said, 2027 and beyond. One final prospect that I want to talk about here in the inaugural episode of the Halos in the Infield Minor League Report. Thank you all for watching. And as you're watching it right now, like, comment, subscribe. You know the business, what to do. Give some love to our sponsors. You can see them at the top of your screen. 714 Tickets, Noble Airworks, Underdog Sportsbook, and many, many more adding to the mix. They are amazing sponsors, helping out this page and this program so much. And you guys, the fans, are huge about that as well. The final prospect I want to look into, I'm going down on the list because we can talk about the top 5, top 10 all day, every day. We're finding those hidden gems, those diamond in the roughs. And this is more of a, how do I put this? A feel-good story. Tragedy to triumph, in a way. number 21 prospect at the end of 2024 season. And the crazy thing is, he only played in roughly a third of the season, almost half of the season. And that is an infielder by the name of Cole Fontenelle. Cole Fontenelle. Saw him a lot, just like Nelson Rada with the Inland Empire 66ers in 2023. Great prospect. And in 2023, batted .266 with the Inland Empire 66ers, 4 homers, 26 RBIs. Very good defensively at the hot corner. Played a lot at third. Got a little sprinkling at second and short and a little bit at first as well. Kind of plays a little bit all over. But primarily, the hot corner is his main position. And he sprinkled in 7 stolen bases as well. This is a guy that had a lot of high hopes going into the 2024 season. And with Rocket City, great start to the year. A .278 average, .404 on base, .417 slug percentage. And he had 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 11 walks before a little bit of tragedy. In a game, slides into second base, foot gets caught wrong, gets tangled up, and ends up having a season-ending knee injury and just a whole leg catastrophe injury. A lot of people thought it was going to be a career-ending situation for Cole Fontenelle. Lo and behold, here he is now playing in spring ball with the Angels. These are the stories you love at the minor league level. You can say anything you want, and he got hurt May 8th, so it wasn't even halfway through the year, barely a month into the regular season at AA. And he gets put on the 60-day end-of-season list due to that knee, leg, ankle, just horrible. I'm not a blood and guts person, so it just creeps me out a little bit when these injuries happen. I've seen them up close and personal. It's not pretty. But for him to rehab and go through the work, and in less from May 8th when he get placed on the IL to February of 2025 and already playing games, 9 months of a rehab process, and he gets the job done. Determination, will, he's got the bat. The minor league system loves his defensive work. There's a lot of intangibles. Again, still plenty of things to work out on the development side. Again, this is not the number 1 prospect in baseball that can just jump in a heartbeat and boom, he's the Angels' next heir apparent to Mr. IL himself, Anthony Rendon. You have a lot to work with. And if Cole Fontenelle stays healthy, progresses well in the rehab, and getting back into baseball shape for being out since May, there's a chance. Your infield in the future could be Shawnuel at first, Moore at second, Neto at short, Fontenelle at third, or you flip Moore and Fontenelle, Moore at third, Fontenelle at second. That could be the future Angels infield if we're looking at the true full-on youth movement, barring the Angels sign free agent infielders moving forward or using anybody as trade bait. I think it's a great opportunity to have. I just want to give a shout out to Cole Fontenelle. If you ever see this, cheers to you. Maybe we'll get you on the show in the future. Just what the rehab process must have been to get to this point is what I hope the Angels farm system can embody this year from top to bottom. You're 30th in baseball as a farm system. Bulk up, get the job done, and have that grit. That's what the Angels are missing. It's the grit of this farm system that they've lost over the years. So, Caden Dana, Christian Moore, Nelson Rada, Cole Fontenelle, those are 4 guys I really wanted to shout out early on. And of course, we'll go through more minor league prospects and even the guys who aren't even on the top 30 prospects that have great weeks or great months. We're going to talk about them as well on the show. If it's Inland Empire 66ers, the Tri-City Dust Devils, Rocket City Trash Pandas, or the Salt Lake Bees. Final thing before I let you all go here on the inaugural episode of the Halos in the Infield Minor League Report with yours truly, Dominick Lorenz of Catella Chronicles. I want to talk about this, why the Angels are ranked 30th. And why I'm not overly mad. Sounds weird. You should be mad, right? Like we should be developing better. If you look at what the Angels have tried to do over the last couple of seasons with Perry Manassian, we saw it in 2023 where the Angels got very close at the trade deadline, were winning games, made trades, Grichuk, Crone, Giolito, and you basically unloaded a lot of the farm because of it, and it didn't pan out. Same thing. You trade Carlos Estevez, you bring in some better prospects from the Phillies. You get some from the Braves. You get some from other positions. Fantastic. That's great. But what about those guys that we were touting 2023, 2022, 2021? Where are they now? And even though they're top prospects that have left, which lowered our ranking to 30th, but what are you doing for me now? And would they have ever touched the grass or dirt on a full-time basis at the Big A at the major league level? Take a look. I'm going to go back to the 2023 prospect list. Well, Logan O'Hoppe and Zach Neto are on the Angels, so they're good to go. You have the catching prospect of Edgar Quero, who was at Inland Empire. Saw him a bunch when he played there. Great catcher, great hitter, was traded to the White Sox in the Giolito trade. Okay, he probably would have been a top 5 prospect right now with the Angels. Where's he going to go, though? Logan O'Hoppe is your catcher of the future and your mainstay. You're going to expect a guy like Edgar Quero, who is supposed to be the next heir apparent at the catcher position, to at best be a number 2 behind Logan O'Hoppe. You could afford to trade him. Even though it didn't work out, I'm not saying the trade was great. I'm just saying put it in perspective. A guy that went in that same deal, left-handed pitcher Kai Bush. A lot of people are high on him. I saw him pitch at Inland Empire as well. Great stuff, great prospect. Goes to the White Sox. Plays a little bit at the tail end of last year. 4 games started with the White Sox. Went 0-3 with a 5.6 ERA. Guess what? Angels starting rotation could have used a lefty. Maybe not now, but in the future. He's having Tommy John surgery. See you in 2026. What would that help the Angels right now? It's not. Keep going down the list to players like Jeremiah Jackson. Infield, outfield combination. Angels got rid of him, made a trade. He's now in the Baltimore Orioles system. Could you see him as an opening day starter with the Angels right now? And this is nothing against the talent or the person. Just where are the Angels now and what they have on the roster? I don't see Jeremiah Jackson being on the Angels opening day roster in 2025 when they kick off the season in Chicago. I don't. Who else? Let's just go down this list. Livan Soto. Saw him a little bit at the major league level in 2023. He's been on other teams since. Nope, not working as well. Jordan Adams is another one. We saw him at the outfield position over the last 2 years. He's now in the Baltimore Orioles system. He's not beating Ward, not beating Trout, not beating Adele, not beating Moniak, and not beating Jorge Soler. Thank you for playing. So you got to put it in perspective where, guess what? A lot of these prospects that were in the top 30 for the Angels that kept us above 25th stature, 22nd, 24th, when we were starting to build the farm system a little bit. Now that they're gone, it drops us down. But where are those guys truly going? Probably not anywhere because of the logjam that's up forward and what the Angels have gotten either in drafts or other trades. So have no fear. I don't think being the 30th of 30 farm systems is, I don't want to say worst case scenario because it is the worst case scenario. We are the worst. But the prospect list, you have to put it in comparison to what the team is doing for you now. You could be the number 1 prospect system forever and ever and ever. Baltimore, Tampa, the Padres for a long time. What has it gotten them? Padres haven't won a World Series. They made it to the playoffs, but a lot of those prospects that made them a number 1 farm system are not with the Padres anymore. Baltimore, they're building up. They have a lot of guys in the pipeline coming up. Rushman was one of them. Holiday's one of them. They got guys in the pen. Good for them. Break down Tampa Bay's. Break down a couple other ones. How many of those guys let's look at Tampa. Wander Franco. Oopsie. You know, we're not going to talk about it, but just Wander Franco. We know what happens in that case scenario. So you have those differences. So you have to put it into perspective in order to really see how the farm system rankings really cut into effect in regards to how the major league, runs their business. Because if most of those minor league guys that are in your top 30 prospect system aren't touching the major league field immediately, and you have guys that are mainstays, look at all the outfield prospects that the Angels had that were center field prospects. Over the last 5 to 7 years, they were not going anywhere when you had Mike Trout in center field. No one's overtaking Mike Trout except when he was hurt. But you had guys like Ward, Moniak, and Adele, and they were already up there. It wasn't like the Angels and Perry Manassian were going to shoot up a double-A guy that was the number like Nelson Rada because Trout's out and have him be the starting center fielder the rest of the way, and Mike Trout gets traded away. Not how it works, people. What are you doing for me now? But how is it going to look prospectively in the future and based on that depth chart? Have to put all those factors in to really get the whole piece to the puzzle. So that's my thoughts. Tell me in the comment section, agree, disagree, indifferent, or maybe you guys want me to talk about some other players that I didn't get to today, or just if you have questions, if you have comments about anything about minor league baseball, 66ers, Tri-City Dust Devils, Rocket City Trash Pandas, Salt Lake Bees, or even other players in minor league baseball, I will love, love, love to talk about them with you, the fans, because again, this channel is made for the fans, by the fans. You know how it goes. This is Halos in the Infield and Catella Chronicles. This is all for you guys. We do it out of love and passion for our Halos. No matter how great or how bad they are doing, we strive to survive here with this Angels franchise, no matter what we go through. But again, every Tuesday, you will get the Halos in the Infield minor league report with yours truly, Dominick Lorenz of Catella Chronicles. The partnership lives on for another year. We keep this thing rolling. Halos in the Infield, Catella Chronicles. It's a match made in Halos heaven. You know, you got to throw in that, angel heaven. You see what I did there. It's perfect. But like I said, every Tuesday we'll be talking about all 4 minor league teams. Once the regular season begins for the minor league level, we will be segmenting the show, talking about each team individually, how they did that week, what were some highs and some lows, check out the standings a little bit, and get you as much information as possible about the Angels minor league system. But that'll be the show here for this week. Until next week, we'll dive into more Angels top 30 prospects. Who's shining so far, even if they're not in the top 30 prospects at Spring Training 2025 in Tempe, Arizona. And you never know. We'll see if we can bring in some guests throughout the season, if it's friendly faces from Halos in the Infield, or maybe I can find some way to get those actual minor leaguers onto the show. But you, the fans, have to stick around, watch, like, comment, subscribe, and again, y'all know the business. Keep on watching, not just my show, watch everybody's show here on Halos in the Infield, because guess what? It's baseball season. We are back. Angels baseball, even though it's spring training and these games don't count, it's great to have baseball back on the screens. And opening day, less than 3.5 weeks away, a little less than 4 weeks. Angels kicking off the year on a road trip, 3 with the Chicago White Sox, 3 with the St. Louis Cardinals, before returning to the Big A for the home opener against the Cleveland Guardians. Baseball season is back, and it's amazing. And I'm so glad to be talking about the Angels minor league report here with you guys, all the friends, family, and fans of Halos in the Infield and Catella Chronicle. But until next Tuesday, I'm your host, Dominick Lorenz. Cheers to the rest of your week. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, let's go, Angels.